Okay, let's dive into this. You brought some really interesting source material today.
Yeah, it tackles something we're definitely seeing more of.
Right. This whole question of creators using AI tools and, well, how the audience takes it.
Exactly. And sometimes not so well.
So this deep dive, it's focused on one creator's story, right?
Hmm.
Someone making like online audio or video content.
That's the one. They use AI tools. The source mentions NotebookLM specifically. And yeah, they've been getting all sorts of feedback.
Okay, so our mission here is to kind of unpack that experience using their account
Uh-huh. Look at the pushback, understand why they say they're using AI.
and see what it tells us about how people are feeling about AI in
Yeah.
content generally.
And honestly, some of the reactions described are, well, pretty predictable, almost amusingly so.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So the situation itself, the source says this creator is just, making their content.
Putting stuff out there, yeah. And AI is part of their toolkit for research, maybe scripting help, that kind of thing.
And the feedback they get is a mixed bag.
Definitely. You've got people just asking, like, hey, is this AI? Which seems fair enough, you know?
Yeah.
Natural curiosity.
Sure, makes sense. But that's not the juicy part, is it?
Not really. The source really flags the negative side. People commenting things like AI is bad, period.
Or calling you fake.
Yeah, this is fake, or I don't trust this, simply because there's an AI involved somewhere in the chain.
Wow, that's quite a reaction. But the creator points out it's not everyone, right?
Oh, absolutely not. That's key. The source makes it clear lots of people are fine with it. They enjoy the content.
The creator called them open-minded, didn't they?
Exactly. Said they don't care what or who is presenting the information, they just want the value.
So there's this real split, people focused on the information versus people getting hung up on the method.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It highlights this tension, this sort of cultural growing pain around AI, maybe.
And the creator in your source material, they don't just sit back and take the negative stuff.
No, they really push back. They lay out their argument pretty clearly.
What's the core of it? Their main defense.
Fundamentally, they argue AI isn't replacing anyone. It's a tool. That's the word they keep using.
A tool to help them communicate better, work faster.
Explore ideas maybe they couldn't otherwise. It's about augmentation, not replacement.
And they stand by the actual content itself.
Very strongly. They stress, look, regardless of the tools, the information is real, researched, and relevant.
Challenging that whole fake accusation head on.
Yeah, it's like saying, judge the substance, not the software I use to help shape it.
Which forces you, or should force the critics, to ask what the fear really is.
Right. The creator points that out too, this inconsistency.
How so?
Well, they basically say, you're freaking out about AI here, but you use AI constantly. Maps, streaming recommendations.
And they'll check, like, everyday things.
Exactly. Things we take for granted. So why the sudden distrust in this context?
Maybe it's about expectation. Like, people expect creative or informational content to be purely human.
Could be. It feels less like a logical objection to the tech and more maybe an emotional reaction to something new in a familiar space, like finding a robot in your favorite coffee shop.
And the creator really hammers that tool analogy home.
Oh, yeah. Hammer, calculator, paintbrush. AI is just the next step in tools.
The argument being tools evolve. That's a progress. And it's how you use the tool that matters.
Correct. Is it being used ethically to create value? That should be the focus, not the tool itself.
Now, this is where, according to your source, the creator gets, well, pretty direct with the critics.
Yeah, they don't mince words. They specifically address the haters.
And the take is basically their arguments are weak.
That's the gist. The creator feels they don't really have an argument. It's just negativity for negativity's sake.
And didn't the creator sort of turn the AI accusation back on them? Found that kind of amusing.
They did. That's one of the more pointed parts, comparing the predictable negative comments to AI.
Saying they're the ones acting like algorithms.
Basically, yeah, using phrases like predictable, negative, default mode. It's quite a jab. Like, you're complaining about AI, but your complaints are simplistic and repetitive.
It definitely shows the creator's frustration, framing the pushback as, like you said, knee-jerk, not thoughtful.
And the source mentions even stronger language, calling them weak keyboard warriors.
Ouch. And comparing them to disruptive kids.
Acting like children disrupting the class is the phrase used. It's quite dismissive.
There was even a suggestion they should find a hobby.
Yeah. Grow up or go grow some autoflowers indoors and relax. Clearly, the creator feels this negativity is unproductive and, frankly, immature.
It paints a vivid picture of that dynamic. But importantly, the creator doesn't just stop at criticizing the critics.
No, they also circle back to reaffirm the human element in their work.
Right. Despite the tools, they emphasize what's still them.
Absolutely. The source quotes them saying, "The soul behind this mic is real.
They're still the one making the decisions, hitting record.
Still the one caring enough to speak directly to you." That part's crucial. It frames the AI as an assistant to a human communicator, not the communicator itself.
Okay, so let's pull back a bit. What does this one creator's story, this whole situation from your source, tell us more broadly?
Well, it really spotlights this friction point we're in right now with AI in creative fields.
This clash between appreciating the output, the info, the content, and freaking out about the input, the tool.
Exactly. There's a segment of the audience, maybe a vocal one, that gets really hung up on the how, especially if the how involves AI.
And it seems less about the actual quality and more about perception, fear of the unknown.
That seems to be the creator's take, yeah. A resistance rooted more in feeling than in fact-based critique of the output.
And the creator's whole response is basically a call for people to, well, grow up, like you said.
Yeah.
But more broadly, be open-minded.
Open-minded, mature, and focused on what matters. Judge the content on its merits, its accuracy, its value, its relevance.
Not just the label on the tin or the software used in the background.
It's like that analogy they used, judge the meal, not the brand of the oven it was cooked in. Does it taste good? Is it nourishing?
Okay, that brings it right to you, the listener. You're consuming stuff online all day, every day.
Podcasts, videos, articles, tons of content.
How often do you actually stop and think about the tools that went into making it?
Probably not that often for most things, right?
And if you did know, or if you suspected AI was involved, how would that change things for you, based on this creator's experience?
Does it affect your trust, your perception of its value?
Are you looking at the message, the information itself? Or does knowing about the method, the AI part, immediately color your view?
It's a good self-reflection question. When you hit something new or different in content, maybe it sounds slightly off or it's produced faster, what's your gut reaction?
Do you lean in to understand, or do you pull back and question the delivery method? This creator's story is a great lens for that.
So to wrap up, we've looked deep into this one creator's experience, using your source material, using AI, getting that pushback.
Especially those reactions that are, let's face it, kind of predictably negative, almost comically so, in the creator's view.
Right. And we've heard their arguments. Focus on the value, be open to new tools. Remember, the human is still driving.
So, based on everything we've discussed today, drawn from that source account, here's something to think about.
As these creation tools just keep getting smarter, faster, more integrated, AI assisting in all sorts of ways.
How do we make sure we're evaluating the content effectively? The actual message, information being shared.
And not just reacting, maybe even overreacting to the method, to the fact that an AI was somewhere in the loop.
Something to chew on next time you press play or scroll down your feed.